And so this is unraveling one of the deeper illusions about the nature of our reality. And so sorting out what this actually looks like, sorting out what this form actually is a matter of deciphering the supersymmetries, the nature of the symmetry that we see up there, and aligning those symmetries to the things that we see happening in the cause and effect relationships here on the earth. And I know that's mind-blowing, but that's what the observations indicate about the nature of our reality. The 6 directions determine what will happen, but we have a role in that question. Yes, it seems that our role is in the selection of the particular planetary waveform that we are riding. So in other words, if you're standing out underneath the stars and you turn around, because of the nature of hypertime, because this very translation happens in between our moments in an imperceptible amount of time, your perspective on the primary time axis is what is actually changing. And so you are moving around up there. What your pattern is, your physical pattern, is being moved around up there. You are actually moving among planets that are hypersymmetric or supersymmetric. And so I prefer the term hypersymmetric because they move in tandem with themselves on multiple levels. So it isn't just a supersymmetry, it's a hypersymmetry. It goes in both directions, above and below, within as well as outside. And so there's this supersymmetry or hypersymmetry to the nature of our reality that indicates that there are multiple worlds or one morphogenic world, depending on how this fleshes out with the observations. There's several things that I haven't figured out about this, and like I said, this is just the beginning. This isn't the end of it. There are a lot of other pieces of astrotometry that I haven't got to bring in just because I've been working on it for quite a while, and there's a lot to it. And so, but the concept is that there are multiple, and those lights that we see in the heavens are the way that we get there. It's not the destination, it's the pathway. And so while the speed of light is incredibly quick, if you think about the light that moves with this electromagnetic wave, that's the speed of light, that's c. But this speed that we see is dependent on the photon. It's dependent on our movement through hypertime to get to the next moment. And so the reason it's called hypertime is because it happens in between times. So there's a time in between our times. In between our moments, there are movements. And one of the next questions is, I'm going to go ahead and move to this one. Why 6 axes? Well, this is the nature of our mathematical relationship with the universe. In other words, there's a certain geometry that falls naturally out of the nature of a sphere. So if you have a sphere, this is your sphere, you've got axes on the sphere, and these axes are, if you consider the center, the concept of a center, the concept of the point is the key to understanding this, because you have this point that is the theoretical center of this sphere, and all 3 of the axes go through that one point. There are 3 and only 3 axes that will go through this because of the nature of a line. It's the nature of a line, a point, and a sphere that makes 6 of these. There are only 3 in the 3rd dimension that will describe the center of the sphere. And so this is always up. This direction is always up. And this is our gravity, because what we are on the molecular level is constantly moving that way. We are constantly moving up. And time and gravity are related. Time is up. That's where you go to move through time.